Movie review number 1412 is Castaway. Castaway is a 2000 film directed by Robert Zemeckis, who also directed Forrest Gump, The Polar Express, and Here, which also starred Tom Hanks, as in Castaway. This movie has 20th Century Fox and Imagemovers Productions. I saw this movie on August 15th, 2025 at the Plaza Theatre in Miamisburg, Ohio. So, this movie details a obsessively punctual FedEx executive named Chuck Nolan, who is en route to an assignment in Malaysia when his plane crashes over the Pacific Ocean during a storm. The sole survivor of the flight, Chuck washes ashore on a deserted island. When his efforts to sail away and contact help fail, Chuck learns how to survive on the island, where he remains for years, accompanied by only his handmade volleyball friend Wilson. The question is, will Chuck ever return to civilization and reunite with his loved ones? So, Chuck Nolan is a FedEx employee, and he is obsessively punctual and very organized, and he has a girlfriend, and he plans on marrying her, or there was like a hint of that, I would say. And he has to go to Malaysia for an assignment. So during the flight, there was a terrible storm, and it causes the plane to go down. But Chuck is the only survivor on that flight, and he manages to get onto a deserted island where no one else is there. Chuck tries to reach out for help by sailing away and using signs like help on the ground, but nothing seems to be working. So Chuck tries to figure out a way to survive on this island, and he remains there for at least several years. He's still trying to figure out a way to get back home, but he doesn't know how. So the question is, will he ever get back home and reunite with his loved ones, or will it be too late for him? I thought it was a pretty good movie, and I remember seeing this back in my childhood. But I never saw this in theaters. But I was really happy when I did saw this movie at the Plaza Theatre on August 15th. It is definitely a great film, another collaboration between Robert Zemeckis and Tom Hanks. And Tom Hanks really portrays Chuck Nolan very well. Like in the beginning of the film, we see him as being punctual, excessively, and maybe a little controlling, and wanting, and he is very organized. He's dedicated to his work, but also with his girlfriend, and he believes that he found the woman that he wants to marry. Well, he has to make a last minute trip to Malaysia for an assignment on Christmas, and he plans on being back with his girlfriend named Kelly by New Year's Eve or by New Year's. But then the storm hits the plane goes down, and Chud is washed away on an island. So Chud's personality definitely becomes different from the beginning of the film to the end of the film, as we see him not being so punctual or obsessive or controlling near the second act of the movie, or the second half, I would say. He's trying to figure out a way to get off this island, but he realizes that it might be too late for him. And he wishes he got to say goodbye to Kelly and his loved ones. And he realizes that if he ever does make it back home, maybe he won't take life for granted anymore. Maybe he wouldn't be as excessive or controlling anymore. But the question is, can he get back home? This was a really good movie. So this movie has Tom Hanks as Chuck Nolan. Helen Hunt portrays Kelly Fields, who is Chuck's girlfriend. Ned Sorcery portrays Stan, who is Chuck's best friend and co-worker. Jennifer Lewis portrays Beth Trade. Jeffrey Brake portrays Maynard Graham. Peter Von Blood portrays Yuri. Chris Noth portrays Dr. Gerald or Jerry Wolfett. Larry White portrays Bettina Patterson. Vince Morton portrays Pirate Albert or Al Miller. Michael Forrest portrays Pirate Jack. Jay Aquiloni portrays Pirate Peter. Garrett Davis portrays Pirate Brain. Vivica Davis portrays Pirate Gwen. Nan Morton portrays Kelly's mother. Dennis Redis portrays Dennis Rawson. Valerie Wildman portrays Virginia Rawson. Steve Monroe portrays Steve Rawson. Eden Henson portrays Eden Madden. Timothy Stack portrays Morton Stoughton. Joel Connery portrays Joel Worley. And Fred Smith portrays himself. So it's very interesting to see how a man who gets stuck on a deserted island and begging for help. It's interesting how his personality changed throughout the film as he begins to feel a sense of hopelessness and realizing that he may never return to civilization. And if he does, he wouldn't be the same man as he was if he ever got to go back than he was before. It's like the island may change him, in some ways good, in some ways bad. But the question is, will he ever get back home? And he does have various ways to try to get help. But the ties and the ways kind of prevent him from like getting too far. And like I said, it starts raining a good amount of the time, especially with the storm. Well, that was definitely intense. So the question is, what will happen? And it's also a little lonely of him because he is by himself. He does have a volleyball friend named Wilson, but that's really his only friend right now. And it's kind of sad, really. But he's trying to hang on and trying to figure out a plan. But also, I think he's at the realization that maybe this will be the end of him. And he does have regrets. And he hopes that if he does get back home, maybe he can become a better man. But what will happen to his loved ones? I'll let you guys see a movie for yourselves, but I thought it was really good. So that's my movie review of Castaway. Please enjoy my next movie review. Alright, goodbye.